What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Vault. My name is Money, and today we are going to be discussing the Wondercon reveals for 2021, or I guess I should call it Wondrous Con because that's what Funko is labeling it this year. Now, Wondercon is a recent Comic-Con to get exclusives. It's kind of similar to LA Comic-Con, where they get like a handful of exclusives, but this year is actually much larger than I anticipated it would be, because last year Wondercon was only like, I don't know, I think it was like 7 exclusives altogether, and this year I believe we have more than a dozen, which is actually pretty exciting. But this video is going to be me discussing all of the reveals for this convention, my thoughts and opinions on everything, and then discussing my personal want list from this convention as well. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please consider it. It helps the channel grow and it helps me make more content for you guys watching at home. So let's go ahead and get started with these WonderCon reveals with what I believe is the best reveal of the convention straight out of the gate. So to kick things off, we have from the Emperor's New Groove, Scientist Kronk and Mad Scientist Yzma. And I mean, this is just an awesome reveal. The Emperor's New Groove was a license that Funko put into production back in like 2017, 2018. It's been quite a while since that first set of commons came out. And then for San Diego last year, we got Yzma as a cat, which was just so random, so out of left field. So it's really awesome to see that Funko is still doing Disney movies that aren't just your main ones that get a lot of representation at Comic-Cons. And it's great to see that they're going back and they're doing these older movies that haven't been touched in a while. I think the details on them look exactly how they should be. Kronk's well-defined jaw, Yzma's craziness is all there, even though you can't really see her eyes. And I think putting them in their scientist outfits is just such a great part of that movie. So it's awesome to see them putting them together in this 2-pack bundle. Now, this is not a 2-pack of Pops. Just want to put that out there. It says 2-pack bundle, which means that these Pops will only be made available together. You can't just buy Kronk. You can't just buy Yzma. You buy them both together for, I believe it's going to be $30. Next up, from the One Day It'll Get Released Black Widow movie, we have a Black Widow soda with a chase. Now, one thing I noticed about WonderCon this year is that they went pop reveal soda, pop reveal soda, pop reveal soda, and kind of went back and forth between the two. So we'll kind of be doing that in the same pattern that Funko did. Now, this is, I believe, the 3rd Funko Soda that is related to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I believe that we got Thanos, and then we got the recently announced Scarlet Witch with a chase as well. Now, this is a cool soda. I believe that $15,000 for a convention exclusive is a lot. I don't think that this thing is going to have a lot of rarity to it, and I personally think that the common looks much better than the chase. And I'd love to hear what you guys think of that take down below in the comments, because as much as I like her in the white suit, I think it should have been the inverse, and that the white suit should have been the common to promote the movie, and then the classic Black Widow look should have been the chase that people would most likely be sought after. Next up, from the Sword in the Stone, we have Madame Mim. Now, this is a Disney character that I recognize, but I can't say that I have ever seen the Sword in the Stone. But looking at the comments on this post, people are super excited for this. It seems like an item that a lot of collectors are after, that a lot of collectors are very excited to get their hands on, and it should be pretty easy to get considering that it'll be shared with FYE. And if you have an FYE local to you, they still have Emerald City exclusives from 2020 sitting around, as well as San Diego and New York from last year as well. So it should be pretty easy to get your hands on. Now, if you have to order it online, it may be a little bit more difficult because FYE's exclusives do tend to sell out quickly online, but they sit around forever on store shelves because not a lot of people have FYEs near them. Next up, we have a Rocketeer Soda limited to 3,000 pieces, and this is what a soda should be for a convention. It shouldn't be limited to 15,000. 3,000 is, I think, a great number. I'd even say 2,000 is also a great number. It makes things very limited for soda collectors who want to get their hands on this item, but then it also makes it somewhat accessible for those who end up winning the lottery for this convention. So 3,000, I think, is right in that gray area. Now, it's interesting to me that this soda doesn't show a chase with it. Is there not going to be a chase? Is it just going to be 3,000 of this one figure in the can? Because in theory, shouldn't that deflate the price a little bit if there's no chase variant to it and everybody knows exactly what they're getting from it? So that's an interesting thing from this soda, and I'm not big into soda. I have a few, you can see behind me, but not a lot of them. So make sure you guys let me know in the comments down below if this is the first Funko Soda that doesn't depict a chase, or if this is like a new trend that we may be able to expect from Funko. Next up, from Star Wars, we have a Stormtrooper, and I feel like I've said this like 10 times within the last year. They've done so many Artist Series Stormtroopers, and this one is, I believe, just another Artist Series Stormtrooper. I'm going to talk about this every time there's a lame Star Wars reveal, so put on your seatbelts. The Star Wars universe is so rich with characters and moments and so many planets with unique creatures and characters, and they just keep doing Artist Series for each convention. Like, why do we keep getting all of these Artist Series variants as opposed to diving deeper into that catalog and pulling out, you know, more like B and C tier characters from the movies that I'm sure hardcore Star Wars collectors would love to see, as opposed to another Stormtrooper in a different color? I don't know. Maybe that's just me because I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I know that if this was something that was happening to a line that I collected all the time, like Marvel, for example, I'd get a little frustrated that this would be the only Comic-Con representation that I would get. And while I understand that WonderCon is one of the smaller conventions, if not the smallest convention of the year, this just feels like a waste of a slot. And I have a really, really strong feeling that this is just going to be sitting around for a long time and not going to acquire any sort of rarity at all. From Disney Pixar's Coco, we have Miguel with a chase limited to 10,000 pieces, and the chase is him as a skeleton. I love Coco. I think it is one of the best Disney Pixar movies. Danny and I watch it all the time. We have, I believe, a couple Coco Pops. I believe we have the Miguel with the guitar from last WonderCon that came out, and it's an awesome looking pop. And I think it's really great that Coco is getting more representation in Funko's catalogs. Now, I wonder if Coco gets more representation during WonderCon, which is around the April-May timeframe, because it's right around Cinco de Mayo. However, this year the announcements happened in March and the exclusives are launching in April. So while it is so close to Cinco de Mayo, it's not necessarily lining up exactly with it. And I think that this soda looks okay. He's a little I don't know, there's something a little off about this figure to me. I can't tell if it's because the eyes just don't translate well with the black back of the skull and the eye sockets or what, but I think the common looks better than the chase. I just don't think the chase was properly put together. From Pokemon, we have a Diamond Flareon and a Diamond Jolteon. So I have a lot of mixed opinions on the Diamond Pokemon. The glam shots of them make them look terrible, like kindergartner art projects, but once you get them in person, they look pretty good. And it really makes me wonder more than anything how Funko is selecting which Pokemon get Diamond editions and which Pokemon get Flocked editions as well. Like, with the Flocked, it made a little bit more sense because they went Pikachu, then Squirtle, and then they went back and did Charmander and Bulbasaur. And then from there, they kind of went in line for the most part. They did Eevee, Pichu, Vulpix, Mewtwo, Growlithe, Pikachu. Then they stopped altogether. But it at least went in line a little bit. When it comes to the Diamond Edition, they went, okay, Charmander, then they went Vaporeon, and then they went back over here and did Jolteon and Flareon. I feel like in order to keep the theme going, they should have done like Squirtle and Jolteon, or Squirtle and Flareon, like one starter, one evolution. So I wonder what that means for the rest of the year. Are we going to get a Diamond Squirtle and Diamond Bulbasaur together? I just don't know exactly what Funko is thinking when it comes to this, but overall, I actually am a little excited for these because they'll also be pretty easy to get. From Sid and Marty Krofft's Land of the Lost, we have a Sleestack Soda with a chase limited to 1,500 pieces. So 1,500 pieces might be the most limited soda that we have seen. What is 1/6 of 1,500?
1/6 of 1,500 is 250.
So that means that there's only 250 of these golden chases, and the fact that this is a show-only exclusive means that only people who win the Funko Lottery are going to be able to get their hands on this. So I can't comment too much on this because I don't know much about the source material, but if you guys are excited for this soda, make sure you leave me a comment down below, and hopefully if you are, you're able to get your hands on it because it looks like it's going to be going straight to eBay only. So next up from the Three Musketeers, we have Donald Duck. Now this is probably going to be something that we see for the remainder of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Mickey and Goofy as a Musketeer pop for San Diego and New York Comic Con respectively. It just seems kind of weird that WonderCon is the convention to get it started at. I feel like Funko should have done either one of two things. Either had Donald be a part of Emerald City's Comic Con lineup, or have these just be a 3-pack and call it a day. I don't see the need to kind of spread it out in 3 different pops, but I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it is kind of a little collection of the year. If this is something that you're into, then you'll be able to have all three of these guys with a different sticker from each convention. From Hanna-Barbera Wacky Racers, we have Lil Gruesome, limited to 5,000 pieces with a chase. And again, another Funko Soda. This is probably the most soda-filled Comic-Con catalog we've ever had. Now, I don't know if it's because Funko just was like, oh, we didn't have a lot planned for WonderCon. Let's just take a lot of limited sodas and smaller piece-counted sodas and kind of shove them into WonderCon. Or if maybe this is going to be a theme that we'll see. Maybe we'll be getting more sodas with each convention because they're doing so well and people love them. And maybe this is Funko's way of testing the market a little bit. Like, oh, WonderCon is kind of the runt of the litter. Let's see if people are going after these sodas. There's not a lot to lose on it. And if people buy these out and a lot of these sodas go out of stock, maybe we could see this being a recurring theme with more sodas at each major convention. I guess you really never know. Next up, we have Pop Heroes DC Adam. And I mean, this is probably the coolest pop of the convention. And although I'm not a DC fan, I can look at this figure and say, oh, hell yeah, this is sick. So this dynamic pose they have him in is exactly what Funko should be about. They have the Adam energy around him, which I'm surprised doesn't glow in the dark. That's probably my only nitpick about this item. But they have the little Adam underneath him, presumably because he shrinks. And then you have the base underneath him as well to really tie the whole figure together. And DC fans have been shafted for so many conventions. And with Emerald City and now WonderCon giving two really awesome DC items, hopefully this continues in the future and that DC continues to get more awesome pops like this, because for a long time, it was just glitter variants of Mr. Freeze and metallic versions of Batman every convention. Another soda, we have Woodsy the Owl with a flocked chase. And this is limited to 7,500 pieces, which is a little bit more than I think a convention soda should be. As I said, there's this like 2,000 to 3,000 area that I think soda should operate in for conventions. I don't think I'll pick this up personally. I don't have any interest in owning a Woodsy the Owl soda, but I saw a lot of people were really excited about this, which was pretty surprising to me. The final reveal for WonderCon is Enchantress from Beauty and the Beast, and just like the Adam from DC, this is, again, one of the highlights of the convention easily. All of the soda aside, which I get people like, and I get that it's going to be rare and they're all piece counted. In terms of pop figures, I mean, this and the Adam are easily the highlights of the convention, and easily maybe even one of the best Disney pops to come out so far this year. I love when Funko does these one-off exclusives based on certain movies, and I think that Enchantress is a great example of that. Having her with the flower petals, or whatever you want to call them, underneath her. She's holding the rose. She has her wand hanging out. It's just an awesome looking figure, and in the same vein as that Adam from DC, I mean, they're two of the best figures from this convention, and maybe even two of the best figures from recent convention catalog history. And that pretty much sums up WonderCon 2021. Okay, it's cool. I'm gonna go after the Diamond Pokemon, but that's pretty much it. Maybe Danny and I will pick up the Emperor's New Groove 2-pack bundle from the Funko shop. I'm really not sure where we stand on that one. But overall, it was an okay convention. It's okay. It's not, oh my goodness, I'm going to write home about it. But it's also not like, ugh, San Diego Comic-Con 2020. You know, it's kind of right in that middle area. And I see a lot of comments out there with people being like, that's it, Funko? You only released a dozen items for WonderCon? And I'm like, bro, relax. It's WonderCon. You're lucky that you even got 10 items for WonderCon. And I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. What do you think of WondrousCon 2021? Do you agree with me in thinking that WondrousCon 2020 is much better than this year's? Or are there a lot of things from this convention that you can't wait to get your hands on? Make sure you guys leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think of this convention and what you think Funko could have done better. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, guys, I will see you soon.